Sometimes, to hear the voice of the future, we must go where silence speaks louder than anything else. So here we are, at the end of a road that dissolves into the sea. That's where our story begins. The world is like a vast canvas, invisible lines shaping the course of our destiny. Corridors, like vital arteries, connect the heartbeat of the planet. A maze of ancient routes, carrying tales of power and trade century after century. Some places can't be understood just by looking at a map. You have to walk them, breathe the air, listen to the signs hidden in their silence. Iran is one of those places. I'm Pepe Escobar, geopolitical analyst. For decades, I followed countless trails where power moves, from the west down to the east. But no land has gripped my mind the way Iran has. Rooted in history, yet always reaching toward the future. And a land that once again just might rewrite the rules of the game. So here I am, searching for something that's been largely overlooked and unheard. Tehran, layers and layers of time. It's imperative to come to the brain of Iran's decision-making, where maps are drawn and pieces in the chessboard are moved. Tehran is not just the capital of Iran. It may soon become the capital of a new Eurasian project, somewhere between Shanghai and St. Petersburg. An official invitation to the Sob Film Festival brought me here.
I am a geopolitical analyst. I'm very well known in the West, in Russia.
Iran is a priceless ancient bridge between East and West. Around 2,500 years ago, the Achaemenid Empire built a royal road, a 2,500-kilometer-long route stretching from Susa to Sardis. This grand artery symbolized mastery over land routes and facilitated trade between great empires. During the Sasanian era, the Silk Road, Asia's vital lifeline, ran through the heart of where else? Iran. Caravans of silk, spices, and precious goods moved along these paths, carrying with them cultures, ideas, and civilizations. In the Middle Ages, Islamic empires expanded both land and sea routes. The ports of the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman became Iran's gateways to the world. Today, Iran sits at a strategic crossroads between the Caspian Sea, the Persian Gulf, and the overland routes of the Caucasus and Central Asia. It is striving to transform the north-south and east-west corridors into powerful interconnected arteries, routes that carry not only commerce, but the shifting weight of regional and global geopolitics.
Recognize the new generation when they are like you are. Your work is go to Qom, go to Isfahan. If you can, go to the south, go to the Persian Gulf.
For quite a while, I sensed that something crucial was taking shape here. Something you can't quite see with just your eyes. So on the sidelines of the festival, I spoke with an Iranian journalist who was also attracted to the concept of the route. Not one that sees Iran as a destination, but as a connector, redefining its role as a vital link.
کوریدور شمال جنوب همونجوری که مستحضر هستید کوریدور خیلی مهم و حیاتیه برای ایران و روسیه و هند.
I know all this. I want to know the main challenges at the moment.
وقتی که این توافقنامه امضا شد بین سه تا کشور خیلی جدیتی وجود نداشت، ولی بعد از جنگ اوکراین روسا مخصوصا شخص آقای پوتین اهمیت زیادی برای این کوریدور قائل شد. الان جنگ دیگه جنگ نظامی نیست، جنگ اقتصادیه.
It's an economic war. Yes.
اقتصادی هم کوریدورها الان خیلی اهمیت داره. چون تا قبل از اینکه روسیه خودش تحت تحریم اروپا و آمریکا قرار بگیره خیلی ایران رو درک نمی‌کرد. الان به این درک مشترک رسیده.
What is missing from the Iranian point of view in terms of infrastructure? From the Caspian crossing Iran to Bandar Abbas and Chabahar. What is missing?
به این پروژه از شمال تا جنوبش تقریبا آماده است به جز این تیکه رشت آستارا. یه سری مشکلات زیست محیطی خورده سمت ایران و از طرف دیگه یه مقدار با توجه اینکه از وسط جنگل و کنار دریا میگذره یک سری مشکلات مالکیتی اشخاص هم هست و حالا داره اتفاقات میفته ولی خب متاسفانه کنده با توجه به این کوریدورهای رقیبی که هستن با سرعت دارن میرن جلو این خیلی عقبه.
And the geopolitical story which is much bigger because it bypasses the West completely.
این دو تا کشور با توجه به توانمندی‌ها و پتانسیل هایی که دارن اگه کنار هم قرار بگیرن اصلا با این توافقنامه جامع راهبردی هم که امضا کردن
they have to up their game.
آره این خیلی میتونه کمک کنه به نظر من اگه این جدیت با همین سرعت بره تو 5 سال آینده میتونه خیلی نتایج ملموسی برای هم دو تا کشور هم جهان داشته باشه.
Thank you Ahmad. That was very good.
خیلی لذت
I am a
بردم.
bit sad because it's much more complicated than I thought.
ولی منم خوشحال شدم.
A little later, I was introduced to Dr. Hassan Abedini, a media and policy analyst.
Salam.
سلام.
Salam.
حال شما.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for receiving me.
مسیری است که یک قدمت تاریخی داره که شاید صدها سال قبل تحت عنوان جاده ابریشم شناخته میشه. اگر ما این رو بپذیریم که در دهه سوم قرن 21 قدرت از غرب به شرق منتقل بشه حتما کشورهایی مثل ایران، چین، روسیه و هند از یک جایگاه کانونی برخوردار خواهند شد. موضوع دالان جنوب شمال که هند، ایران و روسیه رو در بر میگیره هم میتونه کوتاه‌ترین، اقتصادی ترین و در عین حال امن‌ترین مسیر برای انتقال کالا و حتی مسافر باشه.
What's missing? What's the major problem for Iran in terms of finishing infrastructure and logistics from the Caspian to Chabahar and Bandar Abbas?
دو تا موضوع امسال در دستور کار کشور قرار گرفته، نه فقط دولت. یک، اقتصاد دریا محور دوم دالان‌های شمال جنوب، یعنی کریدور شمال جنوب. یک تفاوتی بین راه آهن ایران با راه آهن روسیه وجود داره. این دوتا به هم وصله، فقط وقتی که میخواد منتقل بشه، چون راه آهن روسیه یک مقدار پهن‌تر هست، باید یک در واقع آداپتوری بین اینها به وجود بیاد که بشود واگن‌های ایران روی ریل روسیه انجام بشه که الان داره به صورت در واقع موردی این اتفاق میفته.
So, okay, example. You have cargo coming from St. Petersburg to Astrakhan very fast. So arrives in Astrakhan, he has to cross the Caspian to the northern Caspian Iranian port. Can this be done quickly in 1 year?
بر اساس برآوردی که شده، دولت جدید در صدد هست که کمتر از 1 سال آینده این رو به صورت کامل به بهره برداری برسونه.
Within a year.
New questions emerge, questions that could only be pursued up close. So I had to hit the road and see for myself. Iran was reshaping regional equations. So I decided to start my journey from the north, where some of the answers might still be hidden. Rails emerged from the mountains, cutting into the green heart of the north. From Bandar Abbas to Rasht, this line is part of a much larger project, the International North-South Transportation Corridor, INSTC. This is not just a route. It's a complex chessboard where geopolitics plays out, connecting Iran and wider Eurasia. Here, through mist and forests, Iran reaches the Caspian Sea. The north is way more than a border. It's a vital gateway. Iran, Russia, the Caucasus, Central Asia, they all come together in one single frame. Ports like Anzali and Amirabad are Iran's twin arms in the Caspian. With a combined capacity of over 10 million tons annually, these ports serve as the lifeline for landlocked countries. Kazakhstan, Russia, Turkmenistan, they all watch these lines closely. Here in Astara, Iran's rail network connects to the Caucasus. Goods travel from St. Petersburg to Bandar Abbas in just 20 days, half the time of the classic Suez Canal route, and at a fraction of the cost. Last year alone, over 12 million tons of cargo crossed Iran's northern borders. 80% of Caspian Sea trade passes through Iran. Routes once overlooked have now become the pulse of modern global trade. The North-South corridor is not just a passway, it's a battleground. Iran is no longer just a transit country. It has become a player, a route designer, an indispensable partner in shaping the future order of Eurasia.
We are about to get into the Caspian. This is just a little branch, right? But then when you get to the Caspian, you see everything that's at stake.
This is Bandar Anzali, overlooking the Caspian Sea, connected to Russia, Kazakhstan, and Turkmenistan. The volume of trade with Russia through this port grows every year.
How these Russian imports will keep coming to Iran if preferentially navigating the Caspian from Astrakhan to Bandar Abbas now, or through, let's say, a left of the Caspian highway plus railway. That's a very, very long story. We will address it throughout our long story.
What stands out most in Anzali is the paradox between vast potential and some serious infrastructure limitations. Iran's greatest need now is a rail connection to the national and international networks. Not merely to ease exports, but to secure its geopolitical position on the Eurasian highway.
This port needs expansion, number one, very, very important. Number two, does Iran have enough cargo boats considering exports from Russia might skyrocket in the near future when the corridor will be fully functional? Nobody has this answer so far.
To find the answer, I sought out someone who has stood at the heart of Iran's border trade for years.
بیش از 80% تجارت دنیا از مسیر دریایی شکل میگیره چون ارزان‌تره، ولی مسیر دریایی همواره سریعتر نیست. در حوزه تجارت خارجی ما نزدیک به 180 میلیون تن کالا وارد یا خارج میشه و این واردات صادرات ما هست و بیش از 22 میلیون تن ما عرض شود که ترانزیت عبوری ما هست و ما ظرفیت بندری ما نزدیک 290 میلیون تن تا 300 میلیون تن هست، در صورتی که ما سال گذشته 235 میلیون تن از اون رو استفاده کردیم. پس حدود 60 میلیون تن دیگه ما ظرفیت خالی داریم که این اگر به ترانزیت ما و بحث کریدوری ما اضافه بشه هیچ خللی در وظایف کاری و امور ما اتفاق نمیفته، ولی میتونه یه فرصت بزرگی باشه در اینکه کشور ما در تثبیت کریدوریش، در تثبیت ترانزیتیش ازش استفاده بکنه. ظرفیت خیلی وجود داره، مضاف بر این که ما عضو بریکس هم هستیم و این کریدور میتونه کریدور اصلی جنوب به شمال بریکس هم باشه. مسیر درست هست ولی مسیر کامل نیست. بحث راهن آستارا به انزلی هست که با وجود اینکه راهن قزوین رشت کامل شده ولی این ظرفیت هنوز کامل نشده و درسته بر اساس تعهدات روس‌ها باید اون هم اتفاق بیفته ولی هنوز به سرانجام نرسیده و اون یه باگ و یک فاصله ای هست که اگر اون هم پر بشه میتونه این مخصوصا کریدور جنوب به شمال رو بهش ارزان بودن رو و سریع بودن رو در کنار امن بودن و کوتاه بودن این مزیت‌ها رو بهش اضافه بکنه.
Well, our story gets much more complicated. You see this beautiful railway here. It starts down there in Bandar Abbas in the south. It crosses Iran for over 1,500 kilometers. And guess what happens, let's say around from 5 to 7 kilometers from where we are at the moment. It stops, just like that. No more railway. And it's crazy because we are very close to the Caspian Sea. So this is one of the major logistical problems of the international north-south transportation corridor. You have to build the rest of the railway, of course, to a Caspian Sea port. So how you're going to do it? And this is one of the major problems at the moment because it involves building a stretch of the railway. Who's going to finance it?
A line rising from the heart of the Persian Gulf pauses at the edge of the Caspian Sea, as if awaiting a momentous decision. In May 2023, that wait came to an end. Tehran and Moscow, under the weight of Western sanctions, forged an agreement that is rewriting Eurasia's transport map. Tehran and Moscow have found a new language under pressure: rail, continuous and southbound. Russia is investing 1.3 billion euros to build a 162-kilometer-long Rasht-Astara rail line, a crucial link in a chain that starts in Mumbai, passes through Chabahar and Bandar Abbas, and reaches here at Astara, when Iran's border meets the Caucasus Railway. So this is no longer just a railway project. It's a new geography of power. I met with Mr. Mostafa Agdam, a rail transport expert and freight forwarder for international corridors. He had a different perspective on the future of these routes.
فدراتیو روسیه سالیانه یک چیزی حدود 1 میلیارد تن ترنوول به اصطلاح خدمتتون عرض کنم لوجستیکیش است. معادن زغال سنگ روسیه واقع شده در گوزباش.
Products apart from coal.
محصولات کشاورزی روسیه که سالیانه 125 میلیون توناژ تولید غلات و حبوبات به اصطلاح غلاتش است، مثل شامل ذرت و جو و گندم، واقع شده در غرب روسیه.
Western Russia, yes.
که نزدیکترین راههای خروجیش به اصطلاح از طریق دریای سیاه یا از به اصطلاح سمت خلیج فنلاند هستش. محصولات به اصطلاح خدمت ورز هم مواد اولیه‌ای مثل چوب، مثل آهن‌آلات که در سیبری و خدمت ورز هم شمال روسیه واقع شده، برای صادرات از سن پترزبورگ یا از دریای ژاپن به اصطلاح. خب عملاً مرکز روسیه تا رسیدن به بنادر خودش در به اصطلاح شرق و غربش حدود 7000 کیلومتر باید این مسیر رو طی کنه.
9.5 hours by plane. I do it all the time. Moscow, Vladivostok.
بله ولادیوستوک و اینا. خب عملاً حساب بزنید که کشور ایران جایی واقع شده که برای رسیدن مثلا از مسیر سیبری بخوایم حساب بزنیم از کارخونه‌های سیبور، از گوزباش، از کارخونه‌های تولیدات چوب، نزدیکترین مسیر سیرش برای رسیدن به هند، برای رسیدن به کشور سعودی، برای کشورهای به اصطلاح مثل مصر، نزدیکترین مسیرشون به قول گفتنی از طریق بندر عباس هست. نه صرفا بندر عباس، حتی چابهار. امروزه حساب بزنید از هندوستان موز یا انگور داره توی یک مسیر 20 روزه 25 روزه از طریق دریای سیاه میادش به نووراسیس.
It's a very long way. It's a very long way.
در صورت که این محصول اگر به خدمت کنم بندر عباس بیادش توی مسیر بندر عباس ما از بندر عباس از طریق تراک، از طریق حمل و نقل به اصطلاح جاده‌ای ما اینو 5 روزه میرسونیم به مسکو. پس یه نتیجه خیلی راحت که گرفتیم این بود که محصولات کشاورزی هند فریش یا محصولات صنعتی یا هر محصولی حساب کنید، شما برای رسیدن به روسیه، برای بازار روسیه، برای هلسینکی، در فنلاند، هر مسیری که برید سن پترزبورگ، برید نووراسیسکی، برید به اصطلاح خدمت‌ها از کنم توی ناخودکایا، هر مسیری رو برید، این برای رسیدن به مرکز روسیه دوباره مجددا از دریا، از پیریبالتیک دوباره مثلا باید 5000 4000 کیلومتر بیای اینجا، 3000 کیلومتر بیای اینجا، الان 3000 خورده کیلومتر، 2700 کیلومتر اینجاست، اینجا مثلا 8000 کیلومتره.
So basically what he's saying is that the best route is this one, Iran and through Kazakhstan.
Yes.
Right? So this trajectory is not very well planned in the end. Is this what you're saying?
من اعتقاد دارم که این راه
And you still need to build this stretch through Kasht.
اصلا ساختن این با سرمایه گذاری ایران منطقی نیست.
Well, the Russians said that they were going to finance this stretch.
سرمایه گذاری که روسا میخوان بکنن فاینانس میکنن، شما بعد از به قول گفتنی 5 سال 6 سال این مبلغ رو با بهره و سود برگردونید. این سرمایه گذاری باید به حالت بیوتی باشه واسه کشور مثل روسیه که سرمایه گذاری کنه برای ساخت این موضوع. سرمایه گذاری کشور خارجی به شرط بهره برداری از اون مسیر. بیزینس، تجارت، لوجستیک چیزی نیستش که دولت‌ها دستور بدن شما باید از این مسیر برید و $100 هزینه کنید. وقتی که از اینجا بار میخواد بیادش تا اینجا $100 هزینه داره، $50 هزینه داره، در صورت که از این مسیر بیادش $50 داره، خب یک تاجر هم زمانش و هم قیمت براش میصرفه که از این مسیر بیاد. مهمترین چیزی که چین ساخته ریل کوریدور CP China و پاکستان.
China-Pakistan economic corridor.
Yes.
Yeah.
این کریدور یک کریدوری که آینده لوجستیک منطقه رو کاملا مدیریت خواهد کرد. من آینده به اصطلاح کریدورها رو صرفاً از ایران میبینم، چرا که امروز چین از مرزهایی که ورود میکنه یک کشور، دو کشور، سه کشور رو باید به سه کشور و 4 کشور رو باید ببینه و هر جایی که کانتاکت داره، یعنی اینجا که میرسه باید ریلاش چرخاش عوض شه، یعنی تعویض بوژی کنه.
Yes, but if China uses Iran, same thing in the Iran-Turkey border. No, they don't have to change in the Iran-Turkey border.
دقیقاً. ما میگیم که ما اینو میگیم چین، پاکستان، ایران و ترکیه ریلش، صنعت ریلیش ما UIC هستیم.
So that's it. Pakistan, Iran, Turkey. Yeah. Perfect. Yes.
و میرسه به اروپا. آینده ایرانه. آینده ایرانه. تمام این کریدورها.
Because they all pass through Iran, of course. Here we have the junction of this, I would say, this complex of roads coming from southern Russia, crossing Kazakhstan, crossing Turkmenistan, arriving in North Iran, and then from North Iran to Tehran, and then joining our corridor where we are exactly at this moment over here. And then we continue all the way to Bandar Abbas, or later on to Chabahar as well. But that's all another long story. And of course, from Bandar Abbas to Mumbai, we can call it a sort of Indian Ocean Silk Road. It's cargo straight from Bandar Abbas in Mumbai and vice versa, which is going to be a very, very busy road from now on, maritime road from now on. So this gives to all of you an idea of how important is the corridor, even if they choose, let's say, the left-hand side road or the right side road crossing 3 countries and then arriving to Iran. But it's very important because it's the only north-south corridor across Eurasia. Everything else that we have is horizontal.
The road from Tehran to Bandar Abbas is a vital artery of Iran's trade, a route that trucks and vehicles carry the nation's goods to ports and beyond. Sacred Qom is not just a religious center. It's a point through which the arteries of Iran's economy and trade flow. The North-South corridor passes through here, of course, where faith and politics are interwoven.
It's decorative.
And the transit routes carry not only cargo, but vital information. Qom is a reminder that Iran cannot be measured by economic geography alone. To understand it, one must listen to its history and culture, to the meaning cities bring to the roots they lie on. And finally, I arrived in Isfahan, a diamond of a city where you can hear history echo in every stone and every brick. The North-South corridor cuts through the eastern part of what is in fact a vast province, passing through the ancient town of Nain, with roads and railway lines flowing like lifeblood through its landscape. In Naqsh Jahan Square, where Persian Islamic architecture tells a story of 1,000 years old, the quiet murmur of prayer blends with the bustle of the bazaar, a living testament to the cultural vitality of a people ceaselessly connecting history with the future. In the surrounding markets, I found crafts born not just out of trade, but of identity and art, and took home, of course, a few keepsakes, each telling a story of Iran past and present.
This is fantastic. Where is it from exactly? Do you know? Saras. Where is it? Where's Saras?
Northeast on the border of Iran and Afghanistan. Like
Northeast. Okay, northeast.
20 kilometers away from the border.
The North-South corridor is not just a route for goods. It's a bridge between cultures and commerce, between past and future, between tradition and modernity. Bandar Abbas smells of salt and trade. This is the deep south, where the land speaks to the sea. I pass through fish markets and aging warehouses, through sun-weathered faces and soaked shoes, drawn toward the very pulse of the corridor. Here, in the heart of the city, the North-South corridor reaches its end. Well, not really. Actually, a new beginning.
Right there is Hormuz Island, also known as the Red Island. And way, way, way back, 39 kilometers, is the Strait of Hormuz.
The railway from the Caucasus, the highway carved through the desert, the containers that have crossed thousands of kilometers, they all converge here. Key question: where next? Which direction? Which port? Which horizon? Bandar Abbas is the corridor's last stop on land, and within it lies the Shahid Raja'i port, Iran's strategic terminal on the Persian Gulf. A place where trade is no longer measured in dollars, but defined by the geometry of power.
This is where global commerce arrives in Iran and departs from Iran as well. We can say Bandar Abbas is an essential node of a maritime Silk Road. And that involves major players. Involves not only Russia, Iran, and India as part of the international North-South transportation corridor, it also involves China. This is technically also part of China's new Silk Road.
Here, every day, thousands of tons of cargo from China, India, and Central Asia are loaded and unloaded. This port forms the backbone of Iran's trade.
And now, welcome to the West Asia Express. Everything coming and going from West Asia, where we are. Bye-bye Middle East, doesn't exist. This is West Asia.
From Shanghai to Mumbai, from St. Petersburg to Astrakhan, all routes converge here. A key artery for strategic goods, raw materials, industrial equipment, and economic dreams.
This control tower is the real deal. It controls everything that's happening inside this gigantic port complex, but also in the province of Hormuz, all the way to the Strait of Hormuz. So let's call it the strategic tower. That's what it is.
In this new era, the geography of power is drawn not with armies, but with railways, containers, and ports. Shahid Raja'i is not the final stop of the North-South corridor. It is the beginning of a future where Iran is not just a path, but a destination.
So this is, let's say, the hot part of the Persian Gulf. And at the same time, it's very important because it's a trade center. It's the key node in Iran for the international North-South transportation corridor. So reminding all of you, St. Petersburg, Astrakhan, the Russian port in the Caspian Sea, across the Caspian or roads to the right or to the left of the Caspian, crossing Iran from Tehran, arriving here, and here, Bandar Abbas. From here, he can go to Mumbai or he can go to China as well. He can go to all parts of Asia from here. That's why this port complex is so important. And it's going to be one of the absolute musts in terms of the international north-south transportation corridor being viable within the next few years, with all the challenges involved, of course. But there's a strong possibility that the corridor will be fully operational before the end of this decade. And of course, auspiciously, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years. So we are right at the center of the action in West Asia. It's fascinating because there's a lot of those containers. They are from a firm called West Asia Transportation. So the terminology itself speaks. Bye-bye to the old Middle East, which was a configuration by the former British Empire. The correct terminology to everything that is happening around us is West Asia. And Iran is the main player in West Asia.
The southern sky was bright, not with light, but with a hidden possibility. Down below, where the sea narrows and the paths of oil and politics merge, geography is no longer a map, it's an equation. Every day, 1/5 of the world's oil flows silently go through this strait. But nothing here is truly silent. The winds from Oman carry the hum of tankers, and from above, I watched as power moved across the water. We were headed to Chabahar, a remote point, now standing at the center of tomorrow's game. I arrived in Chabahar, a strategic port in southeastern Iran, where the land sinks into endless blue and the future crashes against the shores with every wave. Along the coastal road, mountains changed their faces, as if I had entered another world, Martian, silent, and yet alive. The Martian mountains of Chabahar, from a time long gone, from a land that seems to have always been a passage. Mountains that could have leapt from the dreams of a surrealist painter. To the east of Chabahar lies the port of Beris.
Yeah, Bris.
Calm, yet alert, like the watchtower of the south.
Fantastic.
Not just a fishing village, now a vital link in a global chain.
با توجه به موقعیت جغرافیایی بندر چابهار در جنوب شرق ایران و در مجاورت دریای عمان و در نزدیکی اقیانوس هند به عنوان تنها بندر اقیانوسی ایران که در مسیر کوریدورهای شمال جنوب شرق به غرب مسیر اقتصادی چین، پاکستان، موسوم به سیپک، ترانس افغانستان، کوریدور جنوبی آسیا قرار گرفته، ظرفیت‌های بی‌بدیلی رو در حوزه لوجستیک و زنجیره تأمین کالا در حوزه واردات، صادرات مجدد، ترانشیپ و ترانزیت کالا برای کشور ایران و کشورهای همجوار و همسایه ایجاد کرده. در حال حاضر انتقال کالا از کشورهای شرق آسیا و حوزه خلیج فارس
از مسیر دریایی سنتی کانال سوئز به اروپا، روسیه، قفقاز، آسیای میانه به طول 16,000 کیلومتر در حال انجام شدنه که اگر انتقال این کالاها از مسیر ایران و بندر چابهار انجام بشه، این مسافت به 7,200 کیلومتر کاهش پیدا میکنه. در بعد هزینه 30%، مسافت 40% کاهش و مقرون صرف است.
As you may see, there is a facility to accept the different type of ships, container ship.
And it's a deep water port.
Yes,
right?
of course, more
Yes.
than 16-meter depth
16,
is here.
yeah,
So,
excellent.
so very big vessels are able to come here to berth and have the operation for cargo discharge, cargo load, and then departure to the other places.
So it is correct to define Chabahar as the maritime capital of Iran. It's not a hyperbolic. It's straight to the point.
Sure.
So Asian shipping lines are already using Chabahar?
Some of them, yes.
Some of them.
Yes.
Do you plan, maybe not for the moment, is there some sort of synergy between Chabahar and Gwadar?
See,
Because I listened, I read some stuff, but it's very up in the air.
yeah. Yeah, of course. There is a lot of discussion about
Exactly,
the
yes.
Chabahar and Gwadar.
Yeah.
The distance between these two ports are not too much. So
It's
one
80
of-
kilometers.
Yes, it's
Exactly, yeah.
exactly close to each other.
Yes.
But the difference between us and them is the hinterland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In terms of the international north-south transportation corridor, is there going to be a synergy between Bandar Abbas and Chabahar? And which one will be more important for the corridor, Bandar Abbas or Chabahar?
I can say if you look to the to international north-south transit corridor, Bandar Abbas and Chabahar are two wings for one bird.
Two wings, okay.
So, Chabahar is more closer to China, more closer to India. So it means the ships can reach this place at least 2 days sooner than Bandar Abbas.
So there's a 2-day difference between here and Bandar Abbas. Fantastic. Can we continue our conversation in your office?
Of course, because outside is hot.
Before we melt down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I invite you to come with me.
Continue over there. Okay. We were comparing Chabahar with Gwadar, and you told me something, I would say absolutely essential, that Chabahar is a provider for the Iranian hinterland, and while Gwadar is more or less isolated in the Arabian Sea. Could you please elaborate?
When you are looking to the map, you will find out there is at least 5 provinces with population. Around 20% of total population of Iran are living on that place. So it means Chabahar has 2 potential. The first potential is related to those activities which is related to the people who are living in that place, in that 5 provinces which I mentioned to you. And the other thing is close distance to the other countries like Afghanistan and the countries located at the east of the Caspian Sea. So this is my view on what's happening when you are comparing between Chabahar and Gwadar.
Can we say at the moment that the international north-south transportation corridor coming and going through Chabahar is already on?
Right. We have some cargo from Afghanistan exporting from here. Arrival cargo to Afghanistan transiting from Chabahar. And also Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, all these countries are very interested to use the potentials of Chabahar. Every day, day by day, we will see more and more interest, more and more guests are coming here to see what's happening here. And then based on that, to send their cargoes to...
How long does it take for a cargo ship from Chabahar to Mumbai? And how long does it take from Chabahar to Shanghai, Eastern China?
Okay, if we are talking about India, from Mumbai to Chabahar 4 days, and to China 12 to 15 days, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
Again. So it means Chabahar made Middle East closer to China.
Would you say that the Chinese sooner or later will invest directly in the expansion of Chabahar?
Chinese will be very soon interested on Chabahar because Chabahar is a gateway for Iranian people and a gateway for the other countries around Iran. And if they can make some investment here, they will have better situation to attract more cargoes with less charges.
And in this is very interesting because it would mean an extension of the international north-south transportation corridor. Because so far, technically, it's Russia, Iran, India. But soon it could become Russia, Iran, India, China.
And in Iran, two corridors are very important. One of them is international north-south corridor, and another corridor, which is subsidiary of that, is East Axis of Iran.
East Axis, yeah.
Which is connecting Iran to the Afghanistan and the other countries located at the eastern part of the Caspian Sea.
So would you say that the overall strategy of positioning Chabahar as essential for not only the north-south corridor, but other corridors, do you think it's the right strategy at the moment?
Right, of course. Chabahar is a gateway, new gateway. We are, as Iranian, we are not only dependent on one port of Bandar Abbas. We should have alternative for our domestic trade. For international trade also, we have a lot of opportunities to bring the investment of the other countries to make some facilities here and enjoy the advantages of that. So it means a combination between domestic trade and international trade, which could be integrated in Port of Chabahar.
Chabahar. This is how you build a railway from scratch. Chabahar to Zahedan is part of the Indian Silk Road. Because what comes from Mumbai and arrives in Chabahar, for instance, take the railway to Zahedan and you are in the Afghan border. And from there, everything can go to Afghanistan and can go to Afghanistan and Central Asia at the same time. So the claim that Chabahar is the maritime capital of Iran is absolutely correct. And it's being built right at this minute. And in the end, I met with Mr. Arbabi, a man who spoke of a greater map. A map in which Chabahar is not merely a port, but a rising economic pole. A chain of logistics, production, and export, all springing up from one simple, powerful element. Location, location, location. When is the railway going to be finished? I saw the beginning of when is going to be finished? Because we had different numbers.
ما امیدواریم یعنی این پروژه که پایان سال شمسی یعنی پایان سال ایرانی تا پایان سال ایرانی کارش تموم بشه و وصل بشه.
Could you explain briefly how does it work? The free trade zone. For instance, I am an investor from China. I want to use your free trade zone. How does it work?
Free zone of Iran have many facilities for the investors. For example, for the tax. We can give investors 20 years free tax.
Free tax,
yeah.
20 years.
Yeah. And so they can bring equipments for the factories by zero regs. Yeah. So we can give them land for the build of the factories by very easy process.
How do you see Chabahar 5 years from now?
I'm sure after 5 years, we have many products to export, will be ready to export, for example, for China, for India, for other countries.
Excellent.
And so we are trying to get a relation between Iran and Pakistan in the Ramadan border, and so get a relation between Ramadan to CPEC, China and Pakistan Economic Corridor.
And here, everything ends. Now, everything actually begins at the edge of Iran, at the edge of Asia, where land speaks with the sea, and the sea entrusts its secrets to distant empires.
So we are at the Iran-Pakistan border. As you can see, no Salafi jihadis around. No CIA, no MI6, but they must be around here anyway. So this has been an extraordinary trip, tracking the international north-south transportation corridor all across Iran, from the Caspian, across central Iran, all the way here to Bandar Abbas and Chabahar and the Iran-Pakistani border. So you may have now, let's say, a more firm idea about the strategic importance and the strategic relevance of the international north-south transportation corridor. The landscape around here in the Sea of Oman is absolutely breathtaking. This is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And from now on, in Chabahar, for instance, which is an enormous building site, the maritime capital of Iran, the potential for expansion, for trade, for integration, Eurasia integration, Russia, Iran, India, is absolutely limitless.
This is not just a border, it's a gateway between dreams and power, between today's geopolitics and tomorrow's geoeconomics.